Middleton police chief was one of those who responded to that scene.
The department learned a lot that day. Our Christina Laurie is at the Middleton Police Department with Chief Falk this morning with more on that. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Leah and Josh. You know that saying, you never know how tough you are until being tough is the only choice you have? Well, that's something that officers here at the Middleton Police Headquarters certainly proved that day. They are tough. Officer and Chief Officer Chuck Folk back with us this morning. Thanks for talking to us.
Sure.
So that day, you learned just how well thought out your policies are. Now you're going across the state teaching other departments. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have been invited to many training sessions in the past year to not only show what we did right, but also what we did wrong or what we could have done better. A big part of that training is also the emotional, traumatic effect that an event like this takes on officers. And we think getting that information across to police officers really helps in their well-being and their officer wellness, because it has been very traumatic for many of our staff, many on the Sheriff's Department, the deputies that went in there, obviously for the Paradigm staff. But we're trying to normalize those types of feelings, especially in law enforcement, so that people realize that they are normal and that they need to talk about it and get assistance if need be and take care of themselves and their fellow colleagues.
Addressing mental health is so important. How are you facilitating that here in the Middleton Police Department?
We did have policies in effect that just kind of took place right away that day. The first thing we did was to get our involved officers out of that building as quickly as we could. Obviously, we couldn't do it right away. They still had things to do, but when we could, we got them out. We paired them with what we call buddy officers, brought them back to the police department, and then we started a series of events. We used our EAP. We have officers that are trained to especially work with other officers that have been in traumatic events. We also wanted to take care of our families. This was very traumatic for our families. So we did critical incident debriefings not only for the officers involved, but for all of our employees and all of our families. And it's an ongoing process. It's we've sent people to trauma specialists, and it didn't end that week or that month. Even as close as a couple days ago, we were sending people to trauma psychologists, and we will in the future, just so that this is something that they can get through.
That's such an important thing for people to know, that it's not just one day, it's something that people are going to have to live with for the rest of their lives. Thank you so much for talking to us, and we're going to check back in with Officer Folk ahead at 6:30, but for now I'll send it back to you, Josh and Leah.
Christina Laurie reporting live for us. Thank you very much, Christina.